Hello, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Stacy Catania. I am the Human Resources Administrator for Manassas City Public Schools, and today's orientation segment will be about policies and regulations. All of our policies and regulations are found under School Board on the MCPS website, either on the intranet or the internet side. You can find it on both sides. All the policies we'll talk about today are on there, as well as additional ones. So if you ever have any questions, go ahead and take a look under policies and regulations. ID badges. All of you will be issued an ID badge. Typically, your librarian at your school will take the picture, have the ID badge made, and get it to you. You are required to wear that ID badge at all times while on school property, at school functions, or school events. We just want to make sure that you belong when you're there so we can identify folks that don't belong. So dress code. The dress code is essentially dress for your day or dress for your job. A PE teacher is going to dress differently than a principal. We just ask that you have professional grooming reflective of the position that you're in, that your personal appearance, hygiene, and grooming should set an example for the students, and that you dress for your day. Make sure it's appropriate for your assignment. Overall, just make sure you're neat and clean and that we're setting a good example for the kids. Confidentiality and FERPA. FERPA stands for the Family and Educational Rights and Privacy Act, and it is set in place to protect children with their confidential information. So essentially, you're going to be in a school with lots of children and you're going to know things about them, about their families, about their home life, about their past, perhaps even about their mental health, physical health. These are things that you cannot share with anybody else, family members, other teachers, etc. This is stuff that needs to remain confidential between you and the student. However, if you are made aware or you suspect child abuse or neglect, we are all mandated reporters, so we are obligated to report what we suspect, even if you don't know for sure, within 24 hours to either the school administrator, the local Department of Social Services, or the Child Abuse and Neglect Hotline, whichever one you can get through to first. Make sure that you report it, and don't hesitate to report it. It's better to report something, have there be an investigation and find nothing than it is to not report it at all. So please make sure that you are doing that. We are required to report it within 24 hours. If we do not, we can be fined $500 for the first incident and $1,000 for any subsequent incidents. And that's as an individual, we can be fined. So most of us at some point in our job here with Manassas City Public Schools will be using a computer. We just ask that you use the division computer in support of educational research or for legitimate school business. The computer system is like an umbrella term for all of the things that comprise the electronic technology that we use here at work, such as hardware, software, data, terminals, printers, CD-ROM devices, flash drives, communication lines and devices, cell phones, smartphones, servers, mainframe, and personal computers and tablets. So the use of our computer system is a privilege and not a right. So anything that you do while you are on a Manassas City Public School computer, such as emails, texts, messages, tweets, anything that you do with a Manassas City Public School device can be read, monitored, or archived by school officials. Users are prohibited from sharing their passwords. This is very important. If you share your password, anything that is done under your password, so if somebody logs in with your password and is doing work on the computer that is not work school related or school division related, you will be held accountable for that. So do not share your passwords or your IDs. Do not borrow anybody's password or ID, and do not access portions of the internet that don't support the educational mission. If you run into a situation where you cannot remember your password or your ID, all of the schools have an ITTS person a technology person that can come to your rescue. So you can get in touch with them. They should be your best friend, and they will help you with any electronic glitches you have, any technology glitches you have. They can help you or point you in the right direction. Cell phone use. So please do not use your cell phone while you are in the middle of instructional time or supervisory time. This includes texting and email. So if you're out on the playground monitoring recess or lunch breaks, you're still supervising children. So we ask that you keep your cell phone in your pocket, turn it on vibrate. You may use it when you are on your own time if you're at lunch and you're not supervising children. You can also provide your family with the school phone number in case they need to reach you. They can call the main office. The school board of the city of Manassas is an equal opportunity employer, committed to the non-discrimination in recruitment, selection, hiring, pay, promotion, retention, or other personnel actions affecting employees or candidates for employment. Therefore, discrimination in employment against any person on the basis of race, color, creed, religion, national origin, ancestry, political affiliation, sex, sexual orientation, gender, gender identity, age, pregnancy, childbirth, or related medical conditions, marital status, status as a veteran, genetic information, or disability is prohibited. Personnel decisions are based on merit and the ability to perform the essential functions of the job. That means that we hire you because you were the best candidate for the position at the time. We do not take into consideration anything else other than your ability to do the job. However, if at any time while you're working for Manassas City Public Schools, if you feel you've been discriminated, we want to know. And my first suggestion would be, just pick up the phone and call Human Resources and talk to somebody. You know, share your feelings. Let us get involved and start to take a look at the situation. Eventually, you may be asked to complete a report of discrimination. It is found on the website, but we would also provide you with a copy. And that needs to be done and given to the compliance officers within 15 days. So harassment can be based on any of these protected classes that I said earlier. Harassment creates an intimidating, hostile, or offensive working or educational environment. It can substantially or unreasonably interfere with an individual's work or education. It is sufficiently serious enough to limit an individual's employment opportunities or to limit a student's ability to participate in or benefit from the education program. These are just a few examples of improper conduct which could constitute harassment. Graffiti containing racially offensive language, name-calling, jokes, or rumors, hostile acts or physical acts of aggression against a person or his property because of their race, national origin, disability, etc. Written or graphic material which is posted or circulated and which intimidates or threatens individuals based on their race, national origin, disability, religion, etc. To narrow it down even more, there is sexual harassment. And sexual harassment consists of unwelcome sexual advances, sexually motivated physical conduct or other verbal or physical conduct or communication of a sexual nature, when submission to such conduct is made either explicitly or implicitly as a term or condition of a person's job, pay, career, etc., or submission to or rejection of such conduct is used as a factor in decisions affecting that individual's employment or education, or that conduct or communication substantially or unreasonably interferes with an individual's employment or educational environment. So examples of sexual harassment would be unwanted sexual physical contact, unwanted ongoing or repeated sexual flirtation or propositions or remarks, sexual or related to the sex of the gender of the person, slurs, leering, threats, verbal abuse, derogatory comments, or degrading descriptions, displaying objects, pictures, cartoons, or posters, or touching an individual's body or clothing in a sexual way. This could happen once. This could happen multiple times. This could happen over time. Don't let it go on. If there is something that is causing you to be uncomfortable, and that is really the measurement, would a regular person find this to be uncomfortable or unacceptable? If the answer is yes, report it. Call HR. We will protect you. We do have a policy against retaliation should you report it. So it's a violation of this policy for any school personnel to tolerate sexual harassment based on any of the protected classes. And this applies to school or any school-sponsored activity by students, school personnel, third parties participating or observing or engaged in sponsored activities. You will not be retaliated against. You will be protected. Again, there is a formal process to report it, which should be done within 15 days. Please don't wait that long. If something seems off, if something makes you uncomfortable, please call us and let us get involved sooner rather than later. We have an anti-bullying policy for both our students and our staff. It is the goal of Manassas City Public Schools to provide a work or school environment free from bullying, harassment, and intimidation on school property, at school-sponsored or school-related events, and in particular using electronic technology. As we know, social media has become a hotbed for bullying, so we need to keep an eye on that. If you are made aware that somebody may be bullying someone else, please report it. So what is bullying? Different than harassment, it doesn't have to be based on one of those protected classes. Anybody can be bullied. It's an aggressive or unwanted behavior that is intended to harm, intimidate, or humiliate the victim. It involves real or perceived power imbalance between the aggressor and the victim. And it's repeated over time or has the potential to happen more than once, or it could happen just once. It's similar to harassment and discrimination. An employee who engages in bullying behavior or fails to report observed behavior involving employees or students will be subject to disciplinary action, which may include dismissal. Again, there is a formal process to report bullying. Please notify us as soon as you feel you've been bullied or you know of someone who's being bullied, and then the formal process can follow. These are our compliance officers. So these are the folks that will work on your formal complaint. One is Billy K. Wingfield. She is our Executive Director of Human Resources. And then Dr. Eric Brent, who is our Executive Director of Student Services. You are free to email them, to call them, or to make an appointment to see them at any time. So this is where I usually tell people it's time to stop smoking. We are a tobacco and nicotine-free school zone, school campuses, school events. Staff and students are prohibited from possessing any tobacco product or nicotine vapor product anywhere related to school. The use of this is prohibited. It's prohibited for volunteers. It's prohibited for parents who are helping with a field trip. It is prohibited, obviously, for staff and students. We also have a policy regarding the unlawful manufacture, distribution, dispensing, possession, or use of a controlled substance. And a controlled substance is typically something that has a prescription, but not always. Employees may not unlawfully manufacture, distribute, dispense, or pass a controlled substance, marijuana, or anabolic steroids on school property or at any school activity or any school-sponsored trip. It is a condition of employment that each employee of the city school board of the City of Manassas will not engage in such prohibited activity and will notify the school board of any criminal drug conviction for a violation occurring on school property, at any school activity, or at any school-sponsored trip no later than 5 days after the conviction. Our school system is very safe. We take safety seriously, and therefore there are no weapons in school, not by the students, not by the staff. We cannot possess or use any firearm or any weapon on school property, including in school vehicles, at school-sponsored functions, extracurricular activities, or at any school bus stop or bus. This even pertains to pepper spray. So if you have pepper spray, my suggestion would be to leave it at home. You don't want to bring it into the school because it may fall into the wrong hands as well. Okay, so to switch gears just a little bit, let's talk about recognition. We have lots of formal recognition programs. We have them within the schools and within the division. We recognize our Washington Post Teacher and Principal of the Year. We recognize our Virginia Department of Education Teacher of the Year. We have a Support Employee of the Year. We have mentors and mentees. And those are wonderful, wonderful programs. But they only recognize a handful of folks. And we know that there are people out there in our school division doing great things every day, doing things that people don't see because really it's their job. So what we decided to do was develop a peer-to-peer recognition program called the STAR Recognition Program. And STAR is an acronym for Specific, Timely, Authentic Recognition. And essentially what this is you can recognize anybody in the school division at any time for anything. So those everyday heroes that we see doing their job, committed to the kids, you can recognize them. And that means more than any award that they can get at the end of the school year. It's very simple. You can go online onto our internet or intranet and click the white star, and that will lead you to an electronic form that you would complete with their name, their email address if you know, their school, and then you'll write what you want to say. So, hey, Joe, thank you so much for helping me set up my computer today. I was in a glitch and I was running, I couldn't get it done, and I really appreciate your work. That's all it is. Something very simple. Or hey, I saw you in the hall today speaking to one of the students. I loved what I was hearing. You're a great teacher and a great member of our community. Fill it out, hit send. It goes to HR where we will type up your comment verbatim. We will attach a little star, a star pin to the comment, and we will send it to them to their school. So within a couple of days, they've got this recognition. And then those star pins can be worn on your lanyard. And we change them every year, so you'll see a whole slew of different kinds of stars on people's lanyards. But that's a great program. We've had, I think last year we had 1,200 stars given out. Seems to get more and more popular every year. So we would love for you to participate. So this is the end of my presentation on policies and regulations. Please feel free to contact Human Resources with any questions that you may have, or to refer to the website under School Board Policies Regulations for more information. Thank you and have a good rest of your day.